The Singapore National Olympic Council, or SNOC, is tasked with picking athletes to represent the nation at international multi-sport events such as the SEA Games. Earlier, we spoke to SNOC President Chuan-Jin, who is also the Minister for Social and Family Development, to get a more personal view of the Games. We started by asking him which particular events he was really keen to watch.
It was one, but to be at Geylang Serai for the light up, which was important. I mean, we had the biggest light up ever. I was tracking it over on my smartphone. Floorball, I wanted to be there as well for the finals. Football, obviously, I mean, it's such a big sport for many of us. Netball, definitely wanted to watch netball. And that was, I think, of all the various matches, it's quite hysterical when you had the finals. I mean, I watched the first match when we were playing Malaysia and we were leading all the way until the last quarter, and then they caught up and they equalized and eventually we tied the game. And in the finals, we were leading all the way as well. Again, up to the last quarter, and then they caught up and tied again. But thankfully we pulled away, and I hope the crowd helped. But certainly it was quite a fantastic experience. I wanted to visit every sport. I mean, mainly to recognize the efforts that the sportsmen have put in, and also the support staff, the family members. I think they put in so much. I thought the very least I could do is to visit all of them. One of the concerns I had, I mean, as we led up to the games, was we knew that there will be sports that there will always be supporters because we do well in those sports, but we weren't so sure about some of the other games. But I think the crowd turnout has been quite fantastic. In a number of sports, actually had to turn people away fairly early on during shooting. There were so many people queuing up, they had to then rotate the groups, so they had to tell the people who came earlier that, at halftime or at lunch, could you all make way for another group to come in? Of course, there would be some that weren't so happy. Most left, some didn't, but I mean, it just shows that it's a good problem to have, that so many people came out to support our athletes, not just in the major sports, but actually in all the various sports I've been to. It's been quite fantastic, and it's really encouraging, I think, for the sportsmen, and I'm so happy for them that people are out there cheering for them. I'm not a photographer, I just take photographs. I actually borrowed a sort of 200 to 400 mm lens, but I never used it. I just felt it was just too heavy to carry around, so I just made do with my smartphone. What's the best? I like one of the pictures I took of Shanti when she was running around. Yeah, but it's just to record the moments and share it with her. And it's always a big moment of pride when CNA sort of tweets my picture. It's just one way of just recognizing not just the medal winners, but really the many athletes. You see, we just watch the performances. It's a short, it can be short, it can be long. Sprinting is just like 11 seconds. But we don't see the effort that goes on behind. Often many months and years of effort. And not just by the athlete, but by all the people involved. And I think we do need to understand and remember that when we cheer them on. And hopefully as supporters, and the support has been fantastic, that we should also be circumspect about what we are really cheering for. They may not win, and like football, for example, it's one of those sports where there's so many fanatics out there, and all of us think that we know how to play the game and how to direct the game. And obviously we are disappointed that the boys didn't go further, but I was with them after the game, and they were just absolutely shattered. Some of them were just crying away. It means a lot to them. I know it means a lot to them, because in the build-up, you speak to them at lunch with them, and it means a lot. But sport, as with life, things don't always happen the way you wish it to be. But I'll give them full marks for effort. So we've got to pick ourselves up, learn from it, and then see where we go from there. Just hearing your anthem being played, it's a very emotional experience, especially if it comes from a really hard-fought victory. And sometimes just watching the athletes and how much it means to them, it really moves you, because it just reminds you about how much they are really fighting all out. I think not just for themselves, but really for all of us. And again, I said it's born from years of sacrifices, a lot of effort put in. And I mean, like I said, the least that we could do, whether you win or lose, really as supporters, is to really cheer them on, because I think that's the minimum that we could do. We always would like to do better, so there will be performances that could be improved, and that's where, as with every games, we have to sort of review, look back at what could be done better, both from an administration point of view, and then from the NSAs, you have to look at it as well and then continue to improve. But no, it's been a fantastic experience all around. I've actually not really talked much about medals. People have always asked me what's my forecast and prediction. I've consistently not really bothered too much with that. I mean, internally, we sort of know it'd be nice to be able to match what we did the last time we hosted, which was 50. And of course, being SG 50, it'd be nice to kind of have 50 at least. Because we know our athletes are capable of some of these performances, but for many of them to deliver it and to deliver it in the way they have, and with the kind of numbers you're talking about, it's been really encouraging. I think being on home ground helps, because many of them, and SNOC's part, for example, we expanded the pool of athletes. Normally we do, and I think correctly so, you want to maintain a certain standard as you send your athletes for various competitions. For these games, we decided to expand the space so that more could participate. Obviously, you had those who perhaps didn't do quite as well. Some are fairly new, but many of them don't have the chance to perform in front of their families, because in other games, they're not always able to go. So we thought, we should really let as many of our athletes perform in front of their family and friends as possible. And for some of them who are new, it would be a wonderful, valuable experience. I don't know when the next time we'll hold something like that. But I think it's been great. And no, all credit to all involved. I think it's been fantastic.